All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show. When I speak to opponents of gold, you often hear them disparage it by calling it a rock, a barbarous relic of the past. You have crypto campaigns telling people to dump gold, etc. Now, there are many counters you can come up with to rebut these people, but I often find it much more satisfying to show them the fact that I'm about to show you guys shortly. But first, if you're new to this channel, please hit that big red subscribe button right down below. Also, please hit the like button. Helps to get this economic evangelism right on out there to the masses to bring more people into precious metals. So, here it is, guys. This is the fact. Central banks buy gold. Yes, that barbarous relic. Yes, that rock, which really isn't a rock at all. It's a metal, but chemistry aside, the periodic table aside, this is a fact that the dump gold people need to contend with. If gold wasn't a great asset to own, do you really think central banks will be piling up on it, especially long after our international monetary system, essentially divorced itself from gold? Do you really think they would waste time doing that? You know, that would remind me of, when you would tell everyone you aren't seeing girl, when behind the scenes you guys are both going steady, like that's what that would essentially be. But all that aside, this new Peter Schiff article is entitled "Central Banks Buy Another 40 Tons of Gold in May." So let's get a layout of the land on central bank gold purchases and see who bought. And I quote, central bank demand came in at 650.3 tons last year. That was the second highest level of annual purchases for 50 years, just slightly below the 2018 net purchases of 656.2 tons. According to the World Gold Council, 2018 marked the highest level of annual net central bank gold purchases since the suspension of dollar convertibility into gold in 1971, and the second highest annual total on record. Hmm. If it wasn't a useful asset, why would they be doing that in 2018? I digress. The World Gold Council bases its data on information submitted to the International Monetary Fund. Continuing a trend we've seen throughout 2020, Turkey drove central bank gold buying in May, adding 36.8 tons. That brings its total reserves to roughly 561 tons. The Turkish lira dropped to all time lows in early May. Analysts told CNBC that rapidly shrinking foreign reserves, inflation, and currency devaluation are showing no signs of abating. The Turkish central bank is frantically trying to backstop its currency. Meanwhile, Turkey is selling dollars. According to Bloomberg, state banks sold roughly $1.1 billion of foreign currency in just 2 days in May. That's a lot. Uzbekistan was the other major buyer of gold in May, adding 6.8 tons of gold to its reserves. The Uzbeks were big buyers in 2019, but have primarily been sellers this year. Russia bought a half ton of gold in May. In March, the Central Bank of Russia announced a plan to suspend gold purchases for the time being, effective April 1st, but there was immediate pressure on the bank to resume purchases. In early April, Russian banks asked the Central Bank of Russia to resume buying gold for its reserves as exports were hobbled by the Ronis. In a letter released on April 29th, the Russian central bank said it did not see any need to resume buying gold at the time, but added it would continue to monitor the situation in both the global gold market and the banking sector. Mongolia was the only big seller in May, shrinking its gold reserves by 3.3 tons. Colombia sold 0.9 tons of the yellow metal. For the eight straight month, the People's Bank of China did not report any gold purchases. It's not uncommon for China to go silent and then suddenly announce a large increase in reserves, which is true. I've seen that. I think that even happened sometime last year as well. So this is all to say to you guys who get pressure from opponents of gold. If anyone comes up to you and says that gold is useless, tell them about central banks. Why? People tend to think they're smart, but when you see countries, not individuals, countries routinely acquiring gold in a non-gold standard environment, you have to quit talking. Like their conversation is just moot at that point, or their argument is moot at that point. So guys, what are your favorite comebacks to opponents of gold? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. It's Black Bullion.